Can you hear me, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, let's begin. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimiram Dhasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, my voice is audible? Clear? Hare Krishna. Is my voice clear? Okay. Okay, so let's begin. We will just complete the last part of 17th chapter and we will do the 18th chapter. Okay. So we saw Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga, right, in the last two classes. So what exactly is, in the last class. So what exactly is Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga? Faith is divided in three parts. As in, it is divided in the based on the three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. So the food is also divided based on the three modes. Charity is divided, sacrifices are divided. So everything we do in life is divided, or it's based on the three modes of material nature. Okay. Now Krishna talks about the conclusion. Om Tat Sat. So what is Om Tat Sat? Om Tat Sat iti nirdesho brahmanastri vidhasprita brahmanastena vedascha yajnascha vihita pura. So from the beginning of creation, the three words Om Tat Sat were used to indicate the supreme absolute truth. These three symbolic representations were used by Brahmanas while chanting the hymns of the Vedas and during sacrifices for the satisfaction of the Supreme. Okay, any idea what is Om Tat Sat? We've heard this before, right? You can just unmute and answer. You're not muted. Hare Krishna. What is Om Tat Sat? Nobody knows what is Om Tat Sat. Okay, Om Tat Sat. Okay, the three words are used to indicate the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so Sat means eternal. Okay, Tat, Om is always used to indicate the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Okay, so this means Krishna is the only absolute truth ever existing, eternal. Okay, that is the meaning of Om Tat Sat. And that is why in all the Vedic hymns, if you see, any shloka begins with Om. Any Vedic hymn for that matter begins with Om. Om Namo Narayanaya, right? Om Gam Ganeshaya Namaha. Any demigod, any god, any Vedic hymn, everything starts with Om. Why? Because it is used to indicate, that means this hymn, this shloka, this stotra, whatever we are chanting, is to satisfy the Supreme Lord, that is Krishna. Okay, that's why even if Om Namah Shivaya we say, right? Even if it is on some other demigod, even if it is some other Vedic hymn, anything, it begins with Om. That means whatever, even if you're trying to glorify a demigod, ultimately it is for the satisfaction of the Supreme Person. Okay, that is Krishna. And that is why everything begins with Om. Why? Because Om Tat Sat, he is the only eternal truth, he is the only absolute truth. Okay, it's because of him that everything else is existing in this world. Okay, that's why we say Hari Om, Hari Hi Om, right? That means Hari is the only supreme absolute truth. There is nothing else beyond him, there is nobody else superior to him. Okay, so that's why these three syllables Om Tat Sat, okay, is hold a lot of importance in our spiritual life. So we saw the division all the penances, sacrifices, charity, food, everything was divided based on the three modes of material nature. But the moment you turn all of them towards the Lord, towards Krishna, by uttering these three words, Om Tat Sat, it becomes transcendental. Okay, without Om Tat Sat, without doing it in with Krishna in mind, without doing all these sacrifices in Krishna consciousness, they are all called conditions, or conditioned or contaminated. They are contaminated by the modes, right? We also, if you give charity, say to a person who wants to buy alcohol, say that person does not have money and you go help that person, that means you're doing charity in the mode of ignorance. But if you're giving that same charity, say to a person who is trying to construct a temple, okay, that means you're giving charity in the mode of goodness. Okay, so what happens here is, that is the difference. Anything you do, charity, penance, food for that matter, it's all divided based on the three modes of material nature. But if you do it with Krishna in mind, if you're doing it for the absolute truth, using the word Om Tat Sat, that means all these sacrifices, charities, penances, whatever you're doing, get elevated to the spiritual platform. Okay, and they all become akarma. Okay, that means they become Krishna conscious activities, devotion, service to the Lord. Akarma means which something which does not have reaction. Every karma, every activity has an opposite reaction to it, right? But when you do it in with Krishna in mind, in Krishna consciousness, then that activity does not generate any reaction. It becomes akarma. No reaction means no next life, right? So that means whatever you're doing directly reaches the Supreme Lord. Okay, that means you're spiritualizing them. Okay, and you can go back to Krishna. Tasmat Om iti udharhatya yajnadana tapakritya प्रवर्तन्ते विधानोक्ता सततं ब्रह्मवादिनम्. Okay, so all the transcendentalists, the yogis, okay, any sacrifices they undergo, charities or penances, whatever, they always begin with Omkar. Okay, you've seen, right? Even if you go to normal yoga classes, meditation classes, music class for that matter, the first thing they teach you is Omkar, right? Om, you take in, inhale your breath and then you let out saying, chanting Om, right? Why? Because Om means Vishnu. Okay, every Vedic hymn, everything begins with Om. That means everything is channelized towards the Krishna, towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is Krishna. Okay, तद् इति अनभिसन्धाय फलं यज्ञतपक्रिया दानक्रियश्च विविधाः क्रियन्ते मोक्षकाङ्क्षिभिः. So without desiring fruitive results, one should perform various kinds of sacrifices, penances and charity with the word tat. Okay, so we dealt with Om. Now the three words, right? Now it is tat. The purpose of such transcendental activities is to get free from material entanglement. Okay, so why do we do this? Because akarma has no reaction, opposite reaction, like we already discussed. So that is why we have to turn everything towards Krishna. Okay, tatvam asi. Okay, tat means tatvam asi. Tat, tatvam. Okay, tattva or tatvam means truth. Okay, and it also describes work detached for the sake of liberation. Okay, that means detached means what? We are not attached to the results of the activity that we are doing. So that way we are detached from the work that we are doing. Okay, if we are detached from the reactions, we don't have to face any reaction. Okay, and that's why they are performed regardless of the material result, and we can attain Krishna, Krishna loka as soon as possible. Okay, सद्भावे सन्दुभावे च सद् इति एतत् प्रयुज्यते प्रशस्ते कर्मणि तथा सच्छद्भापार्थयुज्यते यज्ञे तपसि दाने च स्थिति सद् इति चोच्यते कर्मो चैव तद् अर्थीयं सद् इति एवाभिधीयते. Okay, now prashaste karmani. So prashaste means prescribed duties. Okay, whatever the shastras have prescribed for us. Okay, we have to do them. Why? Because they are prescribed duties. They are our duties and we have to do them. Okay, They are all called, in fact there are many purificatory processes, okay, for us to attain liberation or a good state of life in our next janma. Okay, and anyway the ultimate liberation is Krishna. So by uttering Om Tat Sat, we are free from the reactions, and we will do them detached from the reactions of those activities. Okay, Sadbhave is acting in Sattva, that is Krishna consciousness. As in, example, donating money for temple construction. Okay, now Sadhu Bhave means there is a difference. Sadbhave is acting in Krishna consciousness. Sadhu Bhave is making sure you're acting in Krishna consciousness. Okay, so one who is fully conscious of the activities of Krishna consciousness is Sadhu Bhave, making sure you're always acting in Krishna consciousness. So you're monitoring yourself when you're in Sadhu Bhave. So Sadhu is a superior compared to a Sad, person, a good person. Sadhu is what? A devotee. Okay, devotee is always consciousness, conscious of what he is doing, right? Am I doing this? Oh, today is Ekadashi. Am I eating? Am I eating grains? So the devotee is always conscious of what he is doing or what he is performing. So he is said to be a sadhu. Okay, so Sadbhave is doing Krishna conscious activities. You might not do Krishna conscious activities always, but a devotee always makes sure he does Krishna conscious activity. That comes with chanting, rigorous practice. Okay, and association of devotees. We have to associate with devotees. Then only we can attain that Krishna conscious mindset all the time. Okay, Satam Prasanga is without a good association when one cannot achieve transcendental knowledge. Prabhupada is answering a question how to become sadhu. Okay, it is only through devotee association. Whom we associate with describes our character, right? So if you associate with devotees, you will also become devotee very soon. Okay, and yeah, so while diksha ceremony, while initiating a person, while offering sacred thread, we say yagnopavita, right? So it's called offering the sacred thread, white thread. It's only for men. Okay, they are given this white thread which they have to wear around their body, middle part of the body. Okay, and while offering this thread, devotees, senior devotees or the guru chants Om Tat Sat. That means doing it for the satisfaction of Krishna. Okay, all the yajnas are performed for the satisfaction of Krishna. That's why all the pujaris, when they chant the Vedic hymns while doing the fire sacrifice, yajna, homa, whatever, they all chant Om Tat Sat, and at the end, they after Punahuti, they say Krishna Arpanamastu, right? They don't say Vishnu Arpanamastu, they don't say other gods Arpanamastu. They only say Krishna Arpanamastu, right? Because Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam, right? Krishna says, I am the benefactor of all the sacrifices done in the world. Okay, that's why we have to do everything for the pleasure of the Lord. Om Tat Sat. He is the ultimate absolute truth. And that's why we say Krishna Arpanamastu. It is only for his satisfaction that we do all the activities. Okay, yeah, so the absolute truth is the objective of devotional service. Sat. Now we are coming to the word Sat. Sat means Om Tat Sat. Sat means eternal, truth, forever. Okay, and Krishna is the ultimate truth, absolute truth. Okay, so that's why when we do any of our activities, sacrifice, penance, charity, whatever, uttering these words Om Tat Sat and for the satisfaction of the Lord, because the Lord is eternal, these activities also remain eternal. The results obtained from these activities are also eternal. That means what? We don't get any material returns for doing these activities if you're doing it in Krishna consciousness. Okay, you will get spiritual returns. That means we go back home, we go back to Krishna, we get real happiness, we get direct service to the lotus feet of the Lord. These are all irreversible, nobody can take it away from you. Okay, and this real happiness is what we have been craving for from janmas and janmas and janmas. We have no idea about it, right? Now we understand, okay, yeah, this is the real unconditional love we are all craving for. So that you will get, and that is eternal because Krishna is giving it, right? So these activities also, the results obtained from these activities also remain eternal if we are doing it in Krishna consciousness. Okay, yeah, so Omkar we already saw, right? Although a combination of three letters Om, transcendental potency it has. Okay, chanting Omkar, that's why all yogis know when they sit for tapasya, They chant Omkar. Okay, because Om is not different from Lord Vishnu. The Paramatma situated in our heart, the Vishnu Rupa or the Vishnu plenary expansion of Krishna, is not different from Omkar. Okay, and that's why we start with Om during meditation. Okay, AUM Om. So what are each of these standing for? Karinochyate Krishna Sarva Lokaika Nayaka. So A stands for Krishna himself. Okay, Sarva Lokaika Nayaka. He is the leader of the Lord of the all the planets, all the lokas. And U is Karinochyate Radha. So U represents Srimati Radharani, or the pleasure potency, Hladini Shakti of Krishna. Okay, she is pleasure potency of the Lord. She is not, again, she is, the female form of Vishnu. So she is also not different from Krishna. Okay, she is the purest devotee of Krishna. She is in fact the energy Shakti of Krishna, Hladini Shakti. Okay, Ma. Then comes Om, AUM, right? M stands for Karu Jiva Vachakaha. Okay, so M stands for us, living entities. We are also parts and parcels of Krishna, right? We are all qualitatively equal to the Lord. Okay, Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke, Krishna says. We are all parts and parcels of the Lord. We are also, again, belonging to the part of Krishna. Yeah, so what is happening in the picture? Anybody knows? Who is this? Amika Mataji, do you know? Who is this that you're seeing in the picture? You don't know? Okay. So this picture is of Ramananda Rai. Okay. So this happens in Chaitanya Leela. Ramananda Rai is none other than Arjuna himself. Arjuna, in Krishna Leela, he comes as Arjuna, and here in Chaitanya Leela, he comes as Ramananda Rai. Okay. Again, a devotee of uh, the Lord. Okay. Now, when Ramananda Rai and so what is happening here is Ramananda Rai explains about the Madhurya Rasa, or the Madhurya Bhav of worshipping, the highest level of worshipping Krishna. Okay, the highest rasa. He keeps explaining that to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, only both of them will be there. Okay, and then suddenly during when the discussion goes deep and deep and deep, suddenly Ramananda Rai gets to see this form. Okay, Radha and Krishna. Okay, so this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he gets to see Radha and Krishna. That means what? So this is a realization that the Lord is giving Ramananda Rai, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is both Radha and Krishna. Right? Radha Krishna nahi anya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna nahi anya. Right? So Radha Krishna both together makes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Krishna in the form of a devotee, in the mood and bhav, mood and feel of Radharani. So he's come down in the form of a pure devotee, and the purest devotee we can ever find is Radharani. So he's come in the form of Radharani. Okay, that's why Krishna and Radha both equally made as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, the form is Radha's, the golden complexion. Krishna is Shyamasundara, right? Dark complexion. But he's come in the form of Radharani and in the mood of Radharani. That's why he has golden complexion, and he's come in the form of devotee, because Radha's mood is a devotee's mood, right? And yeah, so he suddenly realizes, then he realizes, Ramananda Rai realizes that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than Radha and Krishna, both of them. Okay, see how, that's why the most effective incarnation, or and we call Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not incarnation, he is the avatari himself. Okay, because of this, both Radha and Krishna and Krishna Shakti both together. Okay, अश्रद्धाया हुतुं दत्तं तपस्तप्तं कृतं च यत् असद् इति उच्यते पार्थ न च तत्प्रेत्य नो इह. Okay, but sacrifices and austerities and charities performed without faith in the Supreme Lord are non-permanent. The results you get out of performing without Krishna in mind, then the results are also material. Okay, because they are all on material platform, they are not on spiritual platform. And Krishna is eternal, everything else is not eternal, right? It has a life, it has beginning and an end. So the results you get, they are also non-permanent. Okay, you will lose them ultimately going forward, or it might be stay there in our life only for this janma. Next janma we might lose them. Okay, So, O son of Pritha, regardless of whatever rites are performed, they are called asat and are useless both in this life and in the next, because they are temporary, asat, not eternal. Okay, so this is the we come to the end of 17th chapter. So Om Tat Sat, that is the conclusion. Do everything, whatever you do it for the satisfaction of the Lord. Okay. Okay, so that is the conclusion, and that's why worshipping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very, very glorious. Why? Because he is both Radha and Krishna. See, Krishna, if you ask him for Krishna prem or Krishna bhakti, Krishna doesn't give you. Okay, but if you ask a pure devotee comes for that purpose. All the acharyas, everybody come for that purpose to this world, to take us back to the Lord, to give us Krishna bhakti. Okay, so Radharani is the purest devotee. Who else can give us Krishna prem? Because she has attained that Mahabhav stage. It's even greater than Prema stage. Okay, so that's why if you worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you get Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Prema immediately, right? Om Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate, right? Krishna Prema Pradayate. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives us Krishna Prema. And that's why by worshipping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can get Krishna Bhakti immediately. Krishna will not give us Krishna Bhakti immediately. Why? Because Krishna, Krishna sells himself for his devotee, gives himself for his devotee. And if he gives Krishna Bhakti for everybody, even if people who don't deserve, then because he gives himself for the devotee, whatever a devotee asks, he will give. So devotee might ask bad thing also, no? Because, so that's why shortcuts say we cannot become Krishna Bhaktas. Okay, just by asking Krishna Bhakti to Krishna, we cannot become devotees. We need proper parampara and proper way. There is an algorithm that we have to follow, led by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the other great acharyas. Okay, and we have to follow that. Then we get Krishna Prema. Okay, if we are serious enough in life, and this is the reason. Okay, we will go to chapter 18 now. Okay, yeah, attendance link is posted. Mm. In chapter 18, we will be learning. This is the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So, what are we doing in chapter 18? Chapter 18, Krishna, it's called conclusion. Okay, and it's also called Moksha Upadesha Yoga. Okay, or Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. Okay, so that means Krishna instructs the confidential path to moksha, direct liberation, which we are all looking for, right? That's what we all want. And Krishna instructs the path to liberation in this 18th chapter, and it is the last chapter, which consists of the most important part of Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because it explains in summary, totally in one chapter, Krishna explains how to go back or get moksha, liberation. Okay, very long chapter. In fact, this is the longest chapter. Um, Second chapter and 18th chapter, both are summaries, both are long. Okay, perfection of renunciation, sannyasa. Okay, moksha sannyasa or sannyasa yoga. Okay, so now Arjuna, okay, yeah, there are in total around, oh yeah, there are a lot of shlokas. Okay, more than 70 shlokas. And yeah, so there are various sections also describing the gist or the main parts of the chapter. Okay, so acting with detachment is true renunciation. Okay, now Arjuna asks Krishna, beginning of the chapter, Arjuna asks what exactly is a renunciation, and details about renunciation, and Krishna explains. Okay, and then conclusion of Sankhya and Vedanta. What should we do? Should we perform activities or should we renounce? So if Krishna says renunciation is good, then renunciation means leaving out our duties, right? If you're not performing any duty, then how is that good, right? Like if a teacher stops teaching, nobody will get education, right? If a farmer stops agriculture, we will not get food. Yes or no? So renunciation means stopping our activities or job. So now Arjuna questions, if we stop our job or activities, and because renunciation is good, then how will the world run? So which is good, performing our duties or not performing our duties? Okay, so Krishna explains very beautifully in this chapter. and then entanglement of the three modes, detachment from the three modes, everything is explained in this. Okay, freedom from the reactions when you get detached from three modes. Jnana yoga, from Jnana yoga transition to pure devotion service. 12th chapter to 12th chapter onwards, we deal with Jnana yoga in Bhagavad Gita, right? So now Krishna is ending Bhagavad Gita, right? So that's why he gives a link from Jnana yoga. Also, you can go to pure devotional service. How he explains. Then working in pure devotional service, surrendering to the super soul. Okay. Then the most confidential knowledge. Okay, how to become a pure devotee of Krishna. See, Krishna explains in this how to become a pure devotee of Krishna and go back to Krishna. Okay, so Bhagavad Gita has all the answers we need, okay, to elevate in our spiritual journey and go back to Krishna. No next janma after this. If we follow, read, understand, and with devotion we worship and follow Bhagavad Gita teachings, no next janma, guaranteed. Okay, because Krishna himself guarantees preaching and studying the Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna also explains why we should, preach Bhagavad Gita to others, why we need to study Bhagavad Gita. Everything he explains. And then Arjuna's realization. Arjuna understands the position of Krishna, understands the teaching of Krishna, and then he changes. He makes a decision to fight. Okay, so all this we will see in this chapter. Okay, now, yeah, so now acting in detachment is true renunciation and brings freedom from reaction. Yeah, so as we already discussed, who is a true sannyasi? Okay, so everything Krishna explains. Now Arjuna asks, the chapter begins with Arjuna's question to Krishna. Okay, sannyasasya mahabaho tattvam ichchami veditum tyagasya cha hrishikesha pratak keshanisudana. So Arjuna said, O mighty armed one, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation, okay, and kind of renounced order of life, O killer of Keshi Demon, the master of the senses. So here one thing we all have to notice, Arjuna uses both the words, names Rishikesha and Keshava, right? Keshinisudana means killer of Keshava. Killer of Keshi demon. Okay, that's why he gets the name Keshava. And Rishikesha is controller or the lord of all senses. Okay, so Arjuna uses both these names to address Krishna. Okay, and so his question is, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation and the renounced order of life. So renounced order and renunciation. Sannyasa is renounced order of life. Sannyasi is renouncing the activities, the person who renounces the activities. Okay, now yeah, so as already discussed, 18th chapter is a summarization or the conclusion of the entire Bhagavad Gita. And throughout the Bhagavad Gita, Lord emphasizes on devotional service. Even in Karma Yoga, even in Jnana Yoga chapters, devotional service is what we touch upon, right? Because that is the ultimate goal of life. Okay, and now in this chapter, Moksha Upadesha Yoga, Krishna explains, right, how to become a pure devotee of Krishna and go back to him. Okay, second chapter is also the summary. Okay, but second chapter is more about Sankhya philosophy, right? Krishna explains about the soul and all that, right? We are not the body, we are the soul and all. And in 18th chapter, Krishna explains a direct path to going back to Krishna, liberation, moksha. Okay, now the purpose of life is indicated to be renunciation and transcending the three modes of nature. These two are the purposes of life. Okay, so Arjuna asks, right, what is the purpose of renunciation? Because renunciation is the purpose of life, we have to renounce and transcend the three modes. We are not supposed to be under any of these modes: goodness, passion, or ignorance. Okay, definitely not as easy as as we speak, but this is called siddhi, or this comes with practice, and it all starts with chanting the harinam every day, okay, like regularly, preferably in the mornings. Now Arjuna wants clarification, okay, on the two distinct subject matters of Bhagavad Gita, namely renunciation and renounced order of life. Okay, renunciation, that is renouncing, okay, tyaga, and renounced order of life is sannyasa, and the person who does it is called sannyasi. Okay, this is called moksha sannyasa. By doing this kind of renunciation, as what is explained by Krishna in this chapter, we can go back to Krishna, attain moksha, not by doing other renunciations whimsically. Okay, example, leaving your job and sitting at home, no. Leaving your family, going to the Himalayas, no. Okay, leaving food because you fought with somebody, No, these are all not called renunciation. These are all whimsical renunciation, which takes us nowhere. Okay, it only generates reactions to us in our life, and we have to start facing those papa karmas. Bad reactions we have to face. Okay, because we are all doing it out of our ego, right? Egotism. It's not for Krishna, right? And then, yeah. So coming back to this, Arjuna addresses Krishna as Rishikesha and Keshava. Why? Because Arjuna expects Krishna to take control over his senses and help him attain mental serenity or equanimity, because his thoughts are going here and there, his senses are going here and there, right? He's confused what to do, what is the purpose of renunciation. He's confused, so he wants Krishna to take control of his senses and help him attain mental equanimity, mental peace. That's why he calls him Rishikesha. Next one, Keshava, right? So Krishna killed Keshi demon, and that's why he got the name Keshava or Keshi Nisudana, right? Now Arjuna is also expecting Krishna to kill the demon called doubt within him, so that Arjuna will be free from doubt and he will get full understanding. Okay, that's why Arjuna addresses Krishna in those two names. Now Krishna starts answering. Okay, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam Sanyasam Kavayo Vidu Sarvakarma Phalatyagam Prahustyagam Vichakshanaha. So the Supreme Lord said, to give up the results of all activities is called renunciation by the wise. So, to give up the results of the activities is renunciation, not giving up job. Giving up the results or the returns you get from your job, the salary, the position, the respect you get in your society, all the good life that you've got out of the job that you have. Giving up those results or dedicating it to Krishna Seva is called as actual renunciation. Okay, this is called renounced order of life or a sannyasi by the learned men. So Krishna is explaining, right? So this is called renunciation, not giving up the job or any activity that you're doing, but giving up the results of the activity. Okay, activity is karma. Krishna is not asking you to give up the karma itself. Krishna is asking you to give up the karma phala. Okay, sarva karma phala tyagam. So renounce the phala of the fruits of the activities that you're getting. Okay, how? If you're getting salary, use it for the service of the Lord. Okay, uh, so if you want to eat something, you're very hungry, you want to gratify your tongue and stomach, you want to eat something, first offer it to the Lord and consume it as prasadam. So this is the way you are renouncing the results of the activities to the Lord, so that you will not be bound by the karma. This is called a true sannyasi. So Prabhupada says in the purport, anybody and everybody can become a true sannyasi. You don't have to wear saffron clothes, you don't have to leave your family, go to Himalayas, forest and sit to become a sannyasi. Okay, we can also become true sannyasis by Krishna consciousness, doing things for Krishna, dedicating our results or the fruits of our activities to Krishna. Our job is to do the activity. Okay, we don't have any right over the returns or the results we get out of that activity. That we have to devote it to Krishna. Okay, that is the way. This is also called as Nishkama Karma Yoga. Okay, not having any desire over the fruits of the activities, but dedicating it or devoting it to the Lord, devoting it to the satisfaction of the Lord. Okay, be it pain, be it pleasure, whatever it is. Okay, do it because Krishna wants you to do it. Take it because Krishna wants you to take. This should be the consciousness. Okay, then you are said to be situated in proper Krishna consciousness. Okay, so it's not that oh Krishna, suppose you get loss in a business or whatever, if you get less marks in exam, you we tend to go and ask Krishna, right? Krishna, why did you do this? Why did I get less marks? Why did you give me less marks and all that? But if you get good marks, you go and ask Krishna, why did you give me good marks? No, right? So we have to treat both pleasure and pain equally. Why? Because it's Krishna's decision. Okay, based on our karma phala, we get our activities. Okay, we get our reactions to face. Our marks are also again based on the activity that we have done. Past karma could be other janmas karma or this janmas karma, whatever it is. The results or anything that we get, suffering or happiness, it is all based on our own karma. Why to blame Krishna, right? But just do it. I mean, take it, receive it in equal, in equanimity, equal consciousness, because Krishna has given you based on your karma. Okay, so this is the way we have to accept life or welcome life, and this is the way we have to live, and then that way we also become a renounced, we also live in renounced order of life and become a sannyasi. What kind of sannyasi? The true sannyasi, real sannyasi, who can get moksha and go back to Krishna. Okay, so sacrifice for the purification of one's heart or for advancement in the spiritual science should not be given up. So Krishna tells, how much ever elevated a person is, or a devotee is in life, okay, penance, sacrifice, charity, these three things should not be given up. Okay, so sacrifice, yajna. What kind of yajna? Yajnonam japa yajñosmi, Krishna says, right, in 10th chapter, Vibhuti Yoga. So, yajnanam japa yajñosmi. I am japa yajna out of all the sacrifices. So, you have to perform your japa yajna every day. Perform your rounds. Chant your rounds without fail every day. That is called sacrifice. Charity. Give money to true brahmanas who are devotees. ISKCON community has so many brahmanas. And in abroad, there is brahmacharini ashram also. There are female, bachelors, brahmanas also. There are brahmacharis and brahmacharinis. In India, we don't support brahmacharini ashram, but there is brahmachari ashram. They need money, right? Because they conduct classes. This all Bhakti Shastri class also ISKCON Mangaluru is conducting free of cost, right? If you have to go take it outside, you have to pay. Even IDC, ISKCON Disciple Course, if you have to go take up from other ISKCON centers, you have to pay, right? For any higher studies in not just Bhakti Shastri, any higher study, Bhakti Vaibhav or Vedanta, anything, you have to leave your house, go there, stay. For the completion of the course, you have to stay in that, center, ISKCON center itself, and take up the course, right? So there is a lot of expenses, but ISKCON Mangaluru is doing it free of cost, online, right from your house. You can complete your courses, get certificate, okay, a digital certificate, right? So conducting classes online is not easy, right? A lot of expenses are there. So do charity for this purpose, where people are do give money for devotees who are striving for the spreading of Krishna bhakti or Krishna bhakti cult, Krishna consciousness. This is called actual charity. Sacrifice, charity, we should not give up. Krishna is saying that how much ever elevated we are, these two things we should not give up. Okay, and penance, austerity as well. And then sacrifices is for the purification of heart, so that we can advance in spirituality. Tyajyam dosha vadita eka karma prahurmanishinah yajna dana tapa karma natyajam iti chapare. Okay, so some learned men declare that all kinds of fruitive activities should be given up. But there are yet other sages who maintain the acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned. Okay, so fruitive activities should be given up. Okay, the activity, say you're going to office every day and working. Okay, you don't give up your job. You should go continue to go and work. But the fruit, okay, using the salary solely for yourself, okay, that is wrong. Okay, that is what you have to give up. The fruits you have to give up. Okay, use your salary for Krishna. If you're buying new clothes, buy a nice new clothes for Krishna also, no? You can, or you can donate little money for vastra seva and all in temples. Okay, whatever you're doing, you use it, a part of it for Krishna. Or as soon as you get your salary, keep little bit, okay, as per your capacity, for Krishna seva. With that, you can use it for use that money to offer seva at home, or you can donate it to temple. Okay, anyway, but use it for Krishna seva. Buying it, using that money to buy Bhagavatam is also Krishna seva. Using that money to buy Bhagavad Gita is also Krishna seva. Okay, Krishna conscious activity. Okay, consciousness has to be there. Krishna has to be there in your consciousness. Okay, and sacrifice, charity, penance should never be given up, how much ever elevated a yogi is. Okay, because this is the way we can purify ourselves and go back to Krishna easily. Now the Vedas sound bewildering. Yeah, why? Because in the Veda it is mentioned that we have to um, uh, do animal sacrifices, and as an animal sacrifice is permitted, okay, as per Vedas. Why the meaning is that if you do animal sacrifice, that animal gets immediately human form of life in its next janma. The animal does not have to pass through all the uh, the order that we have, no, aquatics, plants, and all that, reptiles and all, insects, reptiles. So that animal does not have to pass through all that. Directly the animal gets the human form of life in its next janma. If the animal gets human form of life, then as a human being, the animal, I mean, that animal soul can continue its devotion service and go back to Krishna, right? So that is the reason, that is the only purpose why Vedas allow animal sacrifice. And it has to be done in the form of sacrifice only, not slaughtering animals in slaughterhouses and then eating them. Okay? That is wrong, because there is no Krishna consciousness in mind, right? You're doing it because of your own sense gratification. You want to eat non-veg, that's why you're killing that animal. Then that animal will not get moksha, okay, or any human form of life. Yeah. So um this way, animal sacrifice is allowed. But unfortunately, people have misunderstood it, and they are doing animal slaughtering every day, day out, day in and day out, for satisfaction of their, senses, human senses. Neither the animal is benefited, nor the humans who are eating it is benefited. The animal will come back in the next janma and kill that person only who has killed the animal or who has eaten it. Okay, so karma comes back. We have to remember. निश्चयं शृणु मे तत्र त्यागे सत्तमा त्यागो हि पुरुष व्याघ्र त्रिविधु संप्राकीर्तितः. So, O best of Bharatas, now hear my judgment about renunciation. O tiger among men, renunciation is declared in the scriptures to be of three kinds based on modes of nature. So, renunciation is also based on the three modes of material nature. Nothing in this material world is apart or separate from the modes of penance purify even great souls. We already learned this. So Krishna is stressing on it again and again, right? However elevated a person is in Krishna Bhakti, penance, sacrifice, and charity should not be given up, because they purify us every day. Okay, every day, even if we are good devotees of the Lord, we still perform sins. Okay, we might stamp on an ant, kill an ant, right? We might lie, and even if we know we should not lie, sometimes situations make us lie. So we make mistakes, aware or unaware, every day. So we have to do our yajna, japa yajna, sacrifice, charity, and penance every day, okay, without fail. And that's why even marriage ceremony is called Vivaha Yajna, okay. It is for the advancement of human society, okay. If we are not married, we might tend to do illicit activities, right? We might have connection with other illicit connections with other women or men, and we spoil our the regulative principles, or the shastric injunctions that we have, the Vedic or spiritual injunctions. We might spoil them, okay. That's why marriage ceremony is called Vivaha Yajna. And when two devotees get married, or a devotee child is only born, because a devotee is always in Krishna consciousness, right? So when they attempt for the child, also they are in Krishna consciousness, and a devotee child is only born, right? So if a devotee child is born, again we are doing good to the society, right? That devotee can uplift other people again in the society by preaching Krishna consciousness, and try and do convert the society into a good Krishna conscious society. So that way marriage is can also be transformed into Krishna consciousness. Okay, consciousness matters ultimately. What are you doing? Why are you doing? For whom are you doing? If your what, I mean, if your why is clear, your what and who and all that becomes clear. Why? Because you want to satisfy Krishna. If that thing is clear in your mind, whatever you do also becomes clear. Okay. Yeah, that's why, in Chaitanya Charitamrita it is mentioned. Most of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees were all gruhastas, they were all married. And every time they would get children, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to jump and, be very happy. He would say, another devotee has come into this planet. Okay, and that's how it is. So, also Krishna says, right, unsuccessful yogi is made to born in a Vaishnava family in his next Janma, so that he can continue his devotional life. So when you get married and give birth to a devotee, you are actually helping an unsuccessful yogi complete his devotional life and go back to Krishna. Okay, so it's very important. That's why Vivaha, it's not just marriage ceremony, it is marriage sacrifice. Okay, it's a yajna. एतानि अपि तु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलानि च कर्तव्यानीति मे पार्थ निश्चितं matamuttamam. So all these activities should be performed without any expectation of result. They should be performed as a matter of duty, O son of Pratha. That is my final opinion. So understanding what Krishna is saying, you should not be doing it out of any desire for the activities. The result of the activities. Okay, without any expectations of return or result. Okay, just do it because it is prescribed duty. It is our duty to do it. It is our duty to satisfy the Lord. So do it for the satisfaction of Lord. Om Tat Sat, we just saw, right, in the previous chapter. नियतस्या तु संन्यास कर्मणो नोपपद्यते मोहात् तस्या परित्यागस् तमसा प्रकृतिरित प्रकीर्तितः. The prescribed duty should never be renounced. If one gives up the prescribed duties because of illusion, such renunciation is said to be in the mode of ignorance. So Arjuna's doubt: should we do the activity or should we stop doing the activity? Right? I'm a teacher. Say I'm a teacher. Should I stop teaching? What will happen to all the students? They will all stop learning, right? If I'm a doctor, if I say, okay, I'm giving up my job, I'm becoming a sannyasi, I will give up my job. Who will treat the patients? Say all the doctors follow this path, there will not be any doctors only in this world, right? Then patients should die, right? So we should not give up. Krishna says prescribed duties should never be renounced. Only the results of that activity should be renounced. Okay, not the activity in itself. So we have to, if you're a doctor, do it because you have to satisfy Krishna. Okay, Paramatma is there in every patient, right? So you're satisfying, you're making Krishna happy, you're serving Krishna in as Paramatma in that patient's heart. If you're a doctor, if you're a teacher, you're serving again Paramatma in that student's heart. Okay, by teaching, giving knowledge. If you're a software engineer, again you're satisfying the Paramatma in the client's heart, or your manager's heart. Okay, so see Krishna, uh, Pandita Samadarshinaha, right? See Krishna in everything, see Krishna in everyone, and then that's how you can bind your life. Put a boundary to it with Krishna consciousness and live a regulated life, although you are living a material life. Okay? That way you can turn your material life into spiritual life. So spiritual activities to be done like cooking, offering food to the Supreme Lord. So you spiritualize the activity basically. Okay, by doing the material activity in Krishna consciousness, you spiritualize the activity. Example is cooking. Just cooking is material, but if you're cooking to offer bhog to Krishna and eating it as prasad, then it is Krishna conscious activity, right? Same way. And a sannyasi, okay, this is Krishna is talking about, this sannyasi Prabhupada is talking about the person who has accepted the sannyasa. Okay, sannyasa is after Brahmana Diksha, even after Gayatri Diksha, there is something called as sannyasa. That is also kind of Diksha. Okay, so that time, those people have to wear saffron clothes and all that, and even Prabhupada took up sannyasa, right? When in his old age, he also took up sannyasa. Okay, they have to leave. They should not cook. Okay, they have to take food. Like a mendicant. The Goswamis, Shad Goswamis of Vrindavan. They led a mendicant's life. They used to go door to door, beg. Only for that, that meal they used to beg. Okay, and eat. They would not store anything. Okay, they would eat again for next meal. Again they have to beg. Okay, so that kind of a mendicant life they were leading. Okay, yeah, and a sannyasi should stay away from women association, but should support grihasthashramas for his devotees, should guide them. Okay, so that um the society takes a positive turn. Okay, now renouncing activities in the mode of darkness. Okay, renouncing our prescribed duties is said to be renunciation in the mode of ignorance. Okay, dukkam iti eva yat karma kaya klesha bhayat tyajet sakritva rajasam tyagam naiva tyaga phalam labhet. So anyone who gives up prescribed duties as troublesome or out of fear or bodily discomfort is said to have renounced in the mode of passion. Such action never leads to elevation of renunciation. Like example is giving up your job because it is very troublesome, as in 12 hours, 10 hours of work. In fact, software industry, you have to sit there morning till night, you have to sit in office and work, right? 12 hours of work sometimes, so we sit there only and work, come back home, work on weekends also, right? Lot of trouble, no time to chant also, so no time to do eat also. So such people give up their job because it's very tiring, troublesome and all. Okay, that kind of renunciation is said to be in the mode of passion. Okay, because you're working for the Lord, you should not show that tiring or troublesome attitude in your work, because you're working for Krishna, right? The any money that you get, any salary that you get out of that money job, you're going to use it for Krishna seva, right? So that is also devotional activity. So that job of yours also is devotional activity, devotional service to the Lord. Okay, so one should not stop earning. See, if one stops earning thinking it to be a fruitive activity, if one does not rise in the morning thinking it is troublesome, that's giving up of activities in the mode of passion. Okay, so one must earn and offer the money to Krishna conscious activities. Okay, you can call your friends once in a week probably to home, organize a kirtan party, do Harinam kirtan, Sankirtan, then feed them all with Krishna prasadam. Instead of doing a material party with ordering pizza and all that, do Krishna conscious party. Okay, that way you can use your money, right? And you can have fun also. So that way you can also get associated with devotees, because such Krishna conscious parties only devotees will come, material people will not come. So that way you can associate with devotees. You go to such parties, you will also get an association with elevated devotees. So this way you can transform your friend circle also into devotee circle, right? And devotee association can also be built up. Okay, so one must arise early in the morning to advance his transcendental Krishna conscious activities. So we have to pray to Krishna so that Krishna will expand our time, and Krishna will give us enough time to chant and work. Krishna will help us balance between our work life and our personal life, or spiritual life. Okay, even studies, people who go to college also are saying it's very very difficult nowadays, right? One of the devotees, okay, like 2 weeks ago, that devotee called me, and she was like, I have my exams and I have no time to even get up from my place and drink water. Okay, so I was telling her that is when you have to chant more. Okay, that is when you chant more. Only when you chant more, see, chanting is the only strength. Nothing else in this world can give us strength. Chanting is the only thing that can give us strength in this world. Okay, so any difficulty, any uncomfortable situation you are put in, only way to come out of it and make everything normal and soothing and comfortable is by chanting. Okay, if you give up chanting, then nothing can help us in this world. Okay, even Krishna cannot help us, because Krishna has told in Kali Yuga, the Yuga Dharma is to chant the holy name of the Lord, right? And Harinam, Eva Kelam Kalam Nastyeva Nastyam Nastyeva Gatir Anyatha. There is no other way in this Kali Yuga for liberation apart from chanting. Okay, if you want to get liberated from that particular difficulty you have, you should start chanting. In Bhagavatam class, Namanishra Prabhuji used to say one day, there was a temple president. Okay, he had to build a temple. He had no funds. Okay, he used to do some lots of fundraising programs, but he used to not get enough funds to build a temple for Krishna. So you know what he used to tell? Naminishra Prabhu used to ask that person, what would you do in that situation? Because ISKCON Mangaluru temple is coming up, and there's a lot of hard work and everything put behind it, right? It's not easy to build a temple. So Prabhuji used to ask them, ask that Prabhuji, how would you do? How would you maintain? How would you come out of such difficult situation when there is no funds but you have to build a temple? You know what that Prabhuji used to say? He would say, you know what, I just used to chant. Get a fund program ready. He used to sit in front of the monitor and chant. Okay, get a fund program ready, assign it, delegate it to his devotees so that they can carry out the program. And if there are no funds generated, he would sit right there wherever he is in front of the monitor itself and chant. He would be like, doing it for you, Krishna, please help. Say that, and he used to chant. Okay, rounds and rounds and rounds. The moment you chant, that is the only way Krishna you can worship Krishna in Kali Yuga. Okay, because deity worship and all that, we need diksha for that, right? And we need proper, there are a lot of rules and regulations to worship Krishna. It's very difficult. Okay, so chanting is the only way for all of us ignorant people in Kali Yuga. Okay, so that is the time you have to chant, and people stop chanting when they are in difficulty, which is very wrong. Okay, chant. Oh Arjuna, when one performs his prescribed duty only because it ought to be done, and renounces all material association and all attachment to the fruit. See, very important is the renunciation said to be in the mode of goodness. You have to sacrifice the fruits of the activity, not the activity. Okay, and we have to do the activity because it is our duty. However difficult, however tiresome it is, we have to do it because Krishna has given to you as a duty. Okay, he is the one who has given you that job, right? Say you are working in a software industry, he is the one who has given you that job. So do it because Krishna has delegated you with that job. Okay, and use that fruit whatever you're getting in Krishna conscious activity. Okay, so that is said to be in the mode of goodness. Example, the picture that you're seeing, no, Arjuna, initially he said, no, I'm not going to kill Bhishma, Drona, they are all our gurus and grandfather and all that. But what, and he's a very talented archery person, right? Bow and arrow, professional in archery. And finally, what did he do? He used all the knowledge that he has, archery, everything he used. He even killed Guru and Drona and Bhishma for the satisfaction of the Lord. Krishna asked him to do it, so he did it. He did it because it was his duty. As a Kshatriya, it was his duty, so he did it. Yes or no? So same. That means Arjuna did his renunciation in the mode of goodness. Okay, so we have to be disattached or unattached or detached from the activity. Fruits of the activity that you get. Okay, okay, how much marks will I get? Okay, I'm studying and attending exam. How much marks will I get? Don't be so attached to the marks. Karmanyevadikaraste mapaleshu kadachana, right? Mapaleshu kadachana, leave the results to me, Krishna is saying. Phala, leave it to him. Marks, leave it to him. He will decide. If you are giving your results to him, he becomes the owner of the result. He knows how much results to give you, right? So he knows how much marks he to give you. So leave it to him. Your job is to study, you study. Okay, so this is what Krishna just said, out to be done. This is the prescribed duty we are supposed to do, so we are doing. Okay, results, leave it to him. So if you renounce in such consciousness, that means you're doing the right thing. Okay, you're leaving renouncing activities in the mode of goodness. Okay, yeah, so summary of what we just did: leaving the renouncing prescribed duties out of illusion, said to be in the mode of ignorance. Leaving the job and sitting at home, and leaving the job because it's very tiring, it is said to be in the mode of passion. But performing your job because it is your duty to do the job because Krishna has given you that duty, doing it in that mindset and consciousness, is said to be renunciation in the mode of goodness. You are not renouncing the job, you are only renouncing the results of that job. Okay, so so far we have done. We will see the next part of the chapter in tomorrow's class. Okay.